Well, happy Thursday. I'm actually looking at this date. I know it's March 2nd, but I'm also looking at this date. Back in February 2023. I'm just going to get into it. This is from payments.com. Discovered to track sales of guns stores or at gun stores in April. This is the first other credit cards to adopt what the finance people or the banks said that they were going to go with. This all came about, if I remember correctly, from the video I did when it was first reported, is that New York used the teachers and unions or one of the unions pension funds they were going to sell all their stock in the credit card companies if credit card companies don't comply to their whim. I guess you're using capitalism or at least the stock market to benefit them to get some level of gun control. This means if you're on Discover or using Discover card to purchase your ammo or your guns, you might want to not do that after April. I know there's people saying that they're going to going to cancel their Discover card, but guess what? All the other cards are going this route. With that being said, I'm just going to go into this story. Discover will allow its network to track the sales of gun sellers starting in April. The card network is apparently the first to publicly give a date for the initiative designed to help law enforcement investigate gun crimes. Reuters reported February 19th. We remain focused. We remain focused on continuing to protect and support lawful purchase of our network while protecting the privacy of our card holders, the card company said in a statement to Reuters. Later, the spokesperson from Discover told Reuters that other payment networks have chosen April to roll out their programs, but declined to name those companies. We're following the industry consistent implementation, the spokesperson said. Payments has reached out to Discover to comment, but has not yet received a reply. Last year, Visa, MasterCard, American Express agreed to the new Merchant Category Code, MCC, to provide more information about retailers who sell firearms. This was in response to the request of California Attorney General Rob Bonta and the New York Attorney General Letitia James, who hopped on the flag of suspicious activity, such as large purchases of guns and ammunition for law enforcement. What's considered a large purchase? I'm just curious. The MCC existed for all sorts of consumer product sellers. However, gun shops were categorized by a far broader category of specialty retailers or durable goods sellers. The new code will be for retailers whose primary business is firearm sales. Any big box stores that sell guns will not be included in the code. So that means, I guess, Walmart, Academy won't be included. So I guess they're going to see an influx of gun sales if this is true. Car companies have said that the MCCs are not designated to track gun sales, but to classify the type of business a retailer does. However, the MCC does not give Visa or any other payment network visibility into the product level data, also known as SKU level data, that company wrote in a blog post last year. When processing a transaction, we have no visibility into what items a consumer is purchasing. This is true in irrespective to which the MCC applies to a merchant. They just see that you're spending $100 at a gun store. They don't know if it's ammo. They don't know if it's a gun holster, a sight. They just see $100 is being requested from a gun store. That's pretty much what I'm hearing. Let's hear this. Irrespective of which MCC applies to a merchant, the plan has been criticized by Republican state attorneys general who argue the MCC could be a violation of the consumer protection and antitrust laws. I don't think that's true, to be honest. That's and this is the issue that a lot of people throw back. It's a private business and they can do whatever they want, which is true. But unfortunately, everyone is going that route, and it's just a identifier saying that this gun is a gun store, so therefore they're going to have a code designated for a gun store. So they are protected under the private business. I don't agree with it, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it one bit at all. So let's see here. Writing for the CEO, all three credit card companies and Attorney General argued that monitoring and tracing of firearms sales creates a list of gun buyers and places the information on law-abiding consumers at risk. Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen said in a statement that it's extremely disappointed to see credit card companies cave to pressure from international bodies and adopt this measure that will do nothing to improve public safety. I don't know. I mean, I don't really agree, but I do agree that they are a private business, and a private business has every right to do what they want with it, but that just kind of opens the door to creating a list of people buying guns because it's the gun control. Now, this is where I actually originally heard the story from is Breitbart. Let's see here. What does this one say? Beginning in April 23, Discover will become the first credit card company issued to track gun purchases made by their card holders. On September 11th, 2022, Breitbart noted that Visa card caved to pressure from gun control and New York Democrats agreeing to flag gun ammo purchase via new sales category. Associated Press observed that MasterCard and other credit cards also agreed to flag gun sales. On March 22nd, 23, the Independent Journal reported that Discover will be the first among the card companies to track gun sales, insomuch as the company will begin doing so in April. The Independent Journal review explained that anyone using Discover card to make a purchase at a gun store will have the purchase tracked beginning in April. There's over 53 million Discover cards in usage, so a lot of the information on gun purchases can't be gathered via one company. Reuters pointed out that Discovery Financial Services was ahead of Visa and MasterCard in February 2023, noting that Discovery will allow its network to track purchases at gun store retailers come April, making it for the first among its peers to publicly give a date for moving ahead with the initiative, which is aimed at helping authorities probe gun-related crimes. Although I don't know if it's going to have the effect that they want. Discover told Reuters that we remain focused on continuing to protect the sport of lawful purchases on our network while protecting the privacy of our card holders. But who gets to determine the threshold? I mean, I'm really want to know what the threshold is. Is it a couple of hundred? Is it a couple of thousand? Because guns could cost up to anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000. Especially if you want to buy many of them, they can kind of get up there. Let's say if you want to buy a rifle, you want to buy a pistol. Next thing you know, you're in the 3,000 range. Maybe you want to buy your whole family a gun to have up for their own selves. That might go over the limit. And what about ammunition? I mean, ammunition is relatively cheap, but not really, depending on the caliber. I know they won't have SKU levels, so they won't be able to tell that how much ammunition you're purchasing. But if you go to, like, say, online store that only sells ammunition, and you do that pretty regularly, they might alert the FBI or local authorities that, hey, this person keeps on making purchases here. We find it suspicious. It's always between $200 and $500 per purchase. We find that very suspicious. And now the law enforcement has a list through reports of people that are making purchases at gun stores. It's not far-fetched to say that it's creating a gun registry. See here, the code for tracking gun purchases was approved by the International Organization for Standardization, the ISO, in September 2022, and the ISO representative indicated that these decisions use the new merchant code will eventually left up to the users in the industry. I mean, does that mean that companies get to opt out and change their code, or is it strictly talking about the card companies like Mastercard and Visa and whatnot? I think at the time of that video, I had my reservations about this. I don't think it's in the right direction, but gun grabbers won. This is what victory looks like to them. If they're one step closer, being able to track our purchases, be able to come up with a list to give law enforcement, or even a list to leak online. I think California had all their concealed handgun licenses participants leaked online, which actually puts people in danger. So there's also a safety aspects of that because people may want to go to that house and when they really shouldn't be going to that house. I mean, you could fill in the blank what's going to happen next, but those are definitely concerns to be having there. Anyways, that's my video. I don't think my opinion has changed much. I think it's a terrible idea. I think the gun grabbers win this round, and we have to be vigilant to make sure that they don't win the next round and the round after that and round after that. So leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. And also, most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.